Hello, and welcome to Rocket Fuel, your daily update of everything that's happening in the Rocket Pool community. My name is Wack. Today is July 16th, and today's episode is going to cover news of the voting initialization for on-chain voting. We're going to be talking about 1KX and their tokenomics and some spicy discussions that have taken place in the community. We're going to talk about more RPL airdrops and some ETH ETF news that is getting everyone excited. So let's get started.
10, 9, ignition sequence start, 6.
So we're going to get started here with the vote initialization news, and we're starting here with stuff coming from Langas. So Langas says, quick progress update on the PDAO vote initialization. So this was from the 12th, so it was from a few days ago, and he said that 420 nodes out of 3,716 have initialized their vote power, and that has translates to around 24,560, which is 25.7% of the vote migrated. Langas is working on a 50% migrated target before we can activate the PDAO on-chain system, so we're getting there, but there's still a ways to go. It says there's a guide as well, so a reminder for that. Now, I think it's a good rule of thumb to just think of every 1,000 votes initialized as 1% of the protocol's vote power, and the number of nodes here is actually incorrect. That's the node that we all like to tout as the number of nodes with Rocket Pool. However, that includes non-staking nodes, it includes nodes that never staked, and it includes like people spinning up wallet nodes just so they can become delegates, like Fornax did, Noshua did that, Patches did that, etc. So let's get to Halulu, who actually has the real numbers, and he says that 31,000 votes have now been initialized, so that's around 33%. And of course, we want to get that 50,000 vote thereabouts number. So we're kind of making some progress on the way there, but it looks like it's slowing a little bit. And we actually have 452 nodes now, and the active nodes are 2,368. So that's actually a really good number because it tells you that that's how many nodes are actually active on Rocket Pool right now, which is absolutely amazing. Don't get me wrong, 2,300 nodes is fantastic, nearly 2,400. However, it's not quite as nice as that 3,700 number, but I don't think that's a problem. So that's fine. And then I said, thank you for that. That will come into the episode. Chaos asked the interesting question. He says, I'm curious what the intersection is of people that voted previously in snapshots and people who have initialized their voting in the new system. And I said, that's probably high. And he says, more specifically, people who set up a delegation a while ago and just didn't follow things anymore, so they don't know they have to do it. They probably never voted before, and so probably won't initialize now either, and have voted in the past snapshots and don't have a delegate set up but haven't initialized. And then Halula said there's actually some more people as well. Some people who are confused and set a delegate without initializing. So I actually have a few people who have delegated to me, but they didn't actually initialize their vote to begin with. So please, I'm going to say some addresses. So those people need to go back to reinitialize their, actually not reinitialize, but actually initialize their vote. Please read the Medium article that Langas linked, and those addresses are starting in 0x5776 7D. Another one is 0x79DD89, and another one is 0x5DEC08. So if those addresses sound familiar to you, please go back to your smart node and initialize your vote again. And then Chaos said there's some more people as well. People who know they need to initialize, but they're lazy and they figure they'll do it when the first vote is proposed. But what they don't realize is that if you don't initialize your vote before the vote is proposed, you actually won't be able to vote in that first vote. So you need to do it now in preparation for that first vote. And then it says, doesn't know that voting power is locked in that time proposal, so that could be too late. And Chaos says 5 was me. We need to get more clear communication about that. So please consider this more clear communication about needing to initialize your vote before the vote goes live. Otherwise, your vote power won't count for that vote. And then Chaos says, yeah, the voting power is locked in at the time of proposal, but if you initialize after a vote is proposed, you'll have 0 voting power, but you'll have voting power for subsequent votes after that. So you might get yourself screwed out of a vote there. Yeah, and then that I think is pretty much the main stuff to cover there. But let me actually, yeah, that you can carry on with reading that discussion. And Langas here had some information about what he wants to see on mainnet before they initialize. He says, I've been meaning to kick off that discussion. So this was from July 9th. He says, at this stage, we're working off a 50% of original vote power assumption. That should be 47,842 votes. But he says he's open to suggestions. He says, in terms of disabling Bootstrap, we need to have the Security Council set up and a couple of protocols on proposals under our belt. We essentially just want to make sure things are working well. To be more concrete, we could say once the Security Council is in place and tested and the IMC GMC payments have been automated, we will disable the Bootstrap very soon after that. So that's actually a really nice bit of information. I think I covered this in the episode last week as well, but I'm not sure. But it's nice that Langas gave us like objective targets for which, you know, we should be striving towards. So thank you for that, Langas. Okay, we have a new proposal that's been updated, and this is from Mike from 1KX. Now, there's a whole lot of information here that I'm not going to go into. However, I think I covered this on Rocket Fuel last week as well, if I remember right. Maybe I didn't, but I feel like I did. Anyway, the reason why I'm covering it here is because there's actually there's some interesting discussions that have come up around Mike's comments. One of the things that I really like about Mike here is what he's doing is he's kind of coming into trading and talking about his ideas that he's had and kind of presenting them and getting into discussions with people in trading, which is absolutely amazing, right? Like, you know, we've seen people present alternate ideas or suggestions in the past. People like Evan, who, you know, I had a Rocket Fuel talking about his ideas a few weeks ago. We've had NodeSet coming on to the forum and in Discord to kind of float their criticisms of the ideas and also suggest vaguely like some ideas of their own, but then they haven't, you know, gone forward with that discussion at all. But what Mike here is doing is presenting ideas for what he thinks should go, you know, what his proposal should look like going forward, or what Rocket Pool should look like going forward. But then he's also kind of like talking it out in the community and on the forum. There's a lot of active back and forth taking place there. So if you want to follow that, definitely, you know, follow the links that I'm going to be sharing. But here, things have gotten quite spicy. So that is kind of something that I'm gonna hesitantly share a little bit. So here, you know, there's the tokenomics proposal, and this was Mike's first time posting in the forum, but then, you know, there's 20 replies to this already. Rocknet replied and was quite supportive as far as I could tell. Val kind of replied and started us with some criticisms basically, but also saying that, you know, this proposal is not that mature. It needs to go through like a whole lot of process with the community to kind of refine it and strengthen it and flesh areas out and maybe change some things, etc. But Val kind of explains, you know, 3 criticisms, saying that it's more centralizing than the Val and Samus proposal, and others, of course, that 1KX uses some bad arguments, and that there's some perverse incentives that get created with 1KX's model, and you know, there's a lot of details there. Mike then responds. Mike responds again, which is actually really cool, that, you know, this is becoming more of a discussion now, and actually responds in a lot of detail, which is fine. And then even more replies, and then Val kind of replies back again, and there's back and forth. So I'm not going to go through all of that, but definitely read this because there's some really interesting things here. And then the spicy things actually get here, where Val and Mike are actually going a little bit of a back and forth, and one of the more recent messages was basically well, actually, before I say that, like Noshu here kind of agreed with the important question, which is which proposal leads to better outcomes for Rocket Pool ecosystem. And he says, after reading your post, I don't believe the PDAO is put in a position to answer it. The 1KX ideas seem to be very early stage as presented here and don't amount to a coherent proposal that we considered for vote. I would appreciate someone from 1KX answering these questions I have so far. And then there's a whole lot of questions. There's 4 questions under delegation, 4 questions under commission structure, 3 questions under collateralization, 4 questions under protocol owned RPL, 2 questions under sublinear bond curves, and 3 questions under deposit queue. And then there's questions under role of collateral as well, 3 more questions there. So I don't think Mike has answered those yet, but one of the things here is where Val got really upset with some of the points that Mike was making, and he actually was quite used very strong language that you can probably read on your screen right now. Actually, let me change this so yeah, you can read it on your screen right now, where he said, yeah, I'll let you read that. But there's definitely some spiciness, and then here Samus just replied as well. So there's about how 1KX's proposal might be limited and how it causes some issues. But like I said, I'll let you guys go and read all of that stuff. If we go back to trading here, we can see that Mike again for Vetroverse was involved in discussions, but it got kind of spicy with Val and Noshwa at times and others. So if you want to follow these links, then you can do that. Like, you can go and do that. And Val here was actively saying that he was quite pissed off with some of Mike's comments, and where the issues of actual disagreement are and what that looks like. So like I said, I'm not going to get too much into the details of what was going on here. I'm just letting you know that this is becoming quite heated, I guess. I think that's fair to say. But definitely I'll be keeping an eye on this whole discussion, and I haven't actually made my own opinions about Mike's proposal clear, because I feel like I need to digest the information a little bit more. Actually, after I finish recording Rocket Fuel right now, I'm going to go and read the whole proposal, and then I'm actually going to be talking to Mike quite a lot about his proposal. So that is something that I think would be very interesting for everyone to hear. So maybe you'll be hearing it. But I think what will happen is we're going to explore these ideas, and the community will try to figure out what works best for Rocket Pool, because what we want is what works best for Rocket Pool. And I think that's going to be really important that we're all doing that together. So yeah, I'm really excited to see what comes of this in the next couple of days. Okay, here Ramana said, is anyone waiting for VRUN? Now VRUN is Ramana, and looking for owls is All Nodes competitor. And for those of you who don't know, All Nodes is a service where you deposit your ETH and your RPL, and then they stake it on your behalf. So it's kind of breaking down that trifecta relationship in Rocket Pool, where the person who stakes with Rocket Pool has to be the ETH holder, has to be the RPL holder, and also has to be a node operator. Well, the way that All Nodes and now VRUN break that is the person who stakes with Rocket Pool only has to be the ETH holder and the RPL holder. However, they don't need to have node operation skills. And how this helps is that these people can give VRUN a monthly fee, and then they will stake their ETH and RPL on their behalf. So it's just like All Nodes, you'll pay a monthly fee, and here Ramana is trying to figure out what is going on and what the community wants. So he says it would be very keen to engage anyone interested in helping out with advertising, sounding board, and general moral support. He said if you're potentially interested in getting involved, do reply or message me. So if you are interested in, like Epinef here says, I have a mini pool that I've been waiting to run until the VRUN launched. So if you are waiting for VRUN as well, please let Ramana know, and I think he will definitely give you like special treatment. I'm not saying you're going to save any money or anything, but helping you get everything set up and everything done, you're going to get the white glove treatment. So definitely take advantage of that. Now, I haven't been following this project closely enough to know how competitive the fees will be with all nodes. I think they're going to be charging fees in ETH and not in dollars. So there's a chance that that fee could fluctuate, but I think it'll be based upon like a realistic expectations of a percentage of the rewards you'll be getting. So I'm not exactly sure what it's going to work out to be, but it's definitely something that you should check. But I'm pretty sure it's going to be competitive. So it'll be either the same price as all nodes, maybe better than all nodes, or maybe slightly worse than all nodes, but the added benefit that you're not a centralizing force on Rocket Pool. Of course, we want multiple of these node operation services, for people who have RPL and ETH, and if we can get those up and running, I think that'll be better for Rocket Pool as a whole. And I'm really hoping that some of our node operators who are running on all nodes right now will migrate their validators over to VRUN. I'm not sure if you'll be able to import your keys or not, because I know that you can do that, moving from all nodes to the smart node, but I'm pretty sure you should be able to do that moving your validator from all nodes to VRUN as well. But again, that's one of those things that you should ask Ramana about. I really hope that, a few hundred, maybe 1,000 validators, if they move over to VRUN, I think that will be absolutely amazing. And of course, that I'm on the GMC, and the GMC has funded, I think funded VRUN like to a nice amount. So hopefully this will be a huge success for the community, and of course a huge success for Ramana, which will be really awesome. Okay, a couple of days ago, a transaction showed up and people got RPL. So for those of you who've been watching Rocket Fuel for the last few weeks, you'll know that there was an anonymous benefactor person who airdropped 80 RPL to a whole bunch of people who had a testnet POAP from a couple of years ago when it happened again. So this person this time sent 80 RPL again to 71 addresses, which got all of trading excited. And then we kind of found out that this was based on the Kintsugi Ethereum merge testnet, which was from 2020. So that was really, really cool to see. But almost right away, there was another airdrop that went out as well. I guess it's just to call it an airdrop, right? And this one again was for another Git POAP for the Ethereum merge contributors. And let's see how many of these POAPs there were. This one had 75 supply. So another 75 people had this POAP collected, and a whole bunch of people from the Rocket Pool community were involved with this. I know that Wall was involved, and others as well. Unvetica was involved. Anthony Cesano actually was involved too. Good stuff. Tim Byko, Colfax. There are a whole bunch of like famous names. And Shufro. Oh, Patches got that one. Good job, Patches. Congratulations. So a whole bunch of people were involved with this. So they got another 80 RPL each. Let me just check this transaction to make sure. 80 RPL each, and this one went out to 75 addresses. So this person has been, I think they sent out another 11, this was 11,000 RPL that they sent out, up on top of the 5,000 or 6,000 RPL they sent, no, actually more than that, 7,000 or 8,000 RPL they sent out last week or the week before. So this has been absolutely wonderful to see that people, someone, an RPL holder is airdropping RPL using Disperse to people in the Ethereum testing community, which is absolutely awesome. Now, Superfizz has been really happy about this. A whole bunch of people are saying that these are really cool way of using Ethereum apps. They're using POAP, which is one of my favorite apps on Ethereum. I absolutely love POAP. And then they're also using Disperse, which I also use to send out my raffle prizes. So people are using these apps. They're doing really, really good stuff. And this is a really great way to, retroactively fund people who do really cool stuff on Ethereum. It might be a way to fund people who, for example, like Rocket Pool volunteers at ETH Denver or something like that. They all got a POAP, and then you can send their crypto, which would be pretty awesome to see, right? So these are the kind of things that I think I really love to see. And then the question was like, who is this person? Well, it seems like they kind of outed themselves. And this person was definitely not the gift dropper on Twitter. So let's go and have a look and see what they're saying. So this person right here was replying to Jasper saying, congratulations to the holders of the Kintsugi Ethereum merge test POAP. You just received a share of RPL from some anonymous benefactor in recognition of your contribution. So 80 RPL goes to each of you. And then definitely not the gift dropper says, no one has spot the Easter egg yet. And then people saying, who's this? Who are you? What's going on? And then if we have a look over here, definitely not the gift dropper. The 40 people are following them already. I guess people kind of got the word out. But they've been replying to a bunch of tweets without people catching on who they were. And that is not loading right now. So I'm sorry that you won't be able to see that. But let me see. Yeah, Elon is deciding that Twitter is not working. Oh yeah, okay, so they replied to Jasper. They also replied to Fizz here, from a couple of weeks ago when Fizz was saying that this is, something that I talked about a couple of years ago. And then definitely not the gift dropper said, would be nice to have more posts on other cool POAPs that a gift drop to would reward individual effort and merit. Like review all the old POAPs and the ones that are donation to would reward effort. So I think that's a very interesting point that the gift dropper here mentioned. And I think it's very much in line with the ethos of a whole bunch of people who like to give out money, and I guess even shout outs. It's something I used to do in Rocket Fuel where, if people did work, I used to say, hey, you did work, like congratulations, and like give people shout outs. I really need to bring that back. But it seems like it's this definitely gift dropper is adopting a similar kind of mindset, which is actually really, really cool to see. And I think that's kind of in line with some of the airdrops that the RPL benefactor has done as well, where the benefactor asks you what you've done to contribute to Rocket Pool, and then given RPL based on that. But this person's way more generous than the RPL benefactor, so that's really, really cool to see. Congratulations. Definitely not the gift dropper. It'd be really cool if you watch Rocket Fuel. Give me a reply on the tweet if you do. I'll be so excited about that. And then I'll give you a list of POAPs that I have that you might be able to airdrop to later. Okay, talking about crypto, I guess the whole show is about that. Here we have a new update from stakerocketpool.eth, and this is from Pancakes. This is the rETH DeFi page telling you what you can do with your rETH. And PancakeSwap is once again, the top rewarding protocol for investing your rETH, and this is for rETH ETH liquidity position, and you can get 18.42% in incentives, and that is including incentives from the IMC, I think, and also from PancakeSwap. So you are getting some really juicy rewards with these PancakeSwap, and I think that's been one of the top protocols for quite a while now. Here we have some more information about things that are looking good. So on layer 2, you've got Balancer on Optimism, that's giving 11%. That's kind of standout. Balancer on Arbitrum is giving up to 8.4%, and Balancer on Base is giving up to 7%. If we have a look on mainnet, the PancakeSwap one is by far and ahead of everything else. The others looking like 5.5%, 6%, and 6% as well. So if you are interested in getting involved in any of those, check out the DeFi sheet. Of course, as you all know, everything you put into into DeFi projects, you could lose that. It's definitely a dark forest out there. So please be careful and be aware of what you're doing. Okay, Steely here put a screenshot of D. Guskakov, who is Lido CSM lead developer, and he was asked a question on the Lido Discord saying, congrats on the CSM testnet launch. What is the roadmap to mainnet from here? And he replied by saying late October / early November 2024. So we, when we first found out of the CSM in November of 2023, and everything kind of kicked off, at that time the idea was this would launch in 2024, towards the end of 2024, And what's scary is that Lido is actually aiming to be on time right now. And here Ramana replied by saying they're on time. Like, what's going on? Buddha says, can they wait for 2047, please? Let me see who replied with thumbs down. It might, no, no, not sure. Saying no, they will not wait for 2047. But yeah, it looks like Lido's on track, which means, Rocket Pool will not be ready for launching Saturn 1 in whatever form that takes by that date. Like, that is beyond the most optimistic expectation right now. Sadly, we won't launch by then, and that means that we might lose some node operators to Lido, and these would be people who do want to stake with ETH only, right? They don't want to stake with a token attached to that. So that is definitely going to be something worth keeping an eye on. I'm hoping it gets late, like with project deadlines. Hofstadter's law, of course, states that whatever your estimate is going to be, it's actually going to be later than that. So I'm really hoping that's the case here. However, I'm scared that it won't be the case here, and it might, be the case that Rocket Pool again is left waiting. Hopefully not for long, but potentially for months. Hopefully in the long term that won't be of significance, but it's not good. Let's just say, like, there's no way to sugarcoat this, right? Like, this is not good. So as I get more information with how Lido's like testnet and audits and all that kind of stuff is going, of course I will be covering that here. But we really need to make a move on with Saturn 1. Whatever form that's going to take, we need action ASAP. Okay, moving on to some Ethereum news now, and here we have a tweet from Nate Garasi, who that I love. He's been so great with his ETH ETF news, and he put out a tweet on the 14th saying, welcome to Spot ETH ETF approval week. I'm calling it. He says, I don't know anything specific. I just can't come up with any good reason for any further delays at this point. The issuers are ready for launch. So this got a whole lot of people talking, and everybody was discussing like what's going to happen here, like what's going on. And Tia10K, which is DB on Twitter as well, said that that's the wrong tweet first. So Eric Balkunis replies to Nate or retweets him saying, Nate's instincts were right. Hearing the SEC is finally gotten back to issuers today, asking them to return. This is on Monday. Final S1s on Wednesday. So they've got 2 days to turn it around. By the time you hear this, it'll be 1 day to turn it around. So they want those on Wednesday, including all the fees and everything that's going to happen. And then what they'll do is on Monday, they'll give them permission, as in like they will receive the S1s on Wednesday, and then Monday next week, which is a few days from when you hear this, that's when the issuers will get the permission to launch their ETFs. And then what will happen is the ETFs will launch on Tuesday, July 23rd. And this is provided there's no unforeseeable last minute issues, of course. So this is absolutely wonderful news. Tia10K here just quoted Eric Balkunis about getting that information out. So that's really, really exciting. And then talking about the ETFs here, Eric Balkunis retweets a Bitcoin magazine where Larry Fink of BlackRock, the CEO of BlackRock, is on MSNBC or their finance show, and there's Jim Cramer, and basically he's talking about how he's a big believer in Bitcoin because he has been studying it and he thinks it's going to be amazing. Now, here Eric Balkunis says it's hard to overstate how big a deal it is for Larry Fink, who runs a $10.6 trillion asset firm, to keep giving these full-throated endorsements of Bitcoin as a legit asset class for everyday portfolios. So it's getting buy-in from BlackRock as well as other legacy firms like Fidelity. This gives boomer advisors comfort and cover to make the allocation. That's why betting against it or minimizing the clear to anyone with eyes in the brain early success of these ETFs has been and will be dumb, in my opinion. Now, the reason why I'm covering this particular thing is, of course, the ETH ETFs go live next week. Now, Larry Fink has already made comments about how he wants tokenization, how he thinks tokenization is coming to the world, and tokenization means taking assets from the real world and putting them on the blockchain to trade, to invest in, etc. And BlackRock have already put a fund, the Biddle fund, on Ethereum. Now, what I'm saying here is, if you are seeing Larry Fink coming out in support of Bitcoin, which is the only crypto ETF they have right now, I'm pretty sure that next week Larry Fink is going to be on all these like news channels and finance channels and singing the praises of Ethereum, because they'll have an Ethereum product to sell. The fact is, at the moment there is no Ethereum product for BlackRock to sell, but as soon as that Ethereum product comes online, I would not be surprised if they start telling their clients, put some money in Bitcoin, but also put a sizable chunk of your crypto allocation into Ethereum at the same time, because they're two different plays, right? Like Bitcoin has this store of value narrative that seems to have caught on quite well, for better or worse, for rightly or wrongly. And then Ethereum has all these different things going for it, like we've seen with Bitwise media coming through, saying tokenization, like real world assets, DeFi, GameFi, all this kind of like creator economy, memefi, all this kind of stuff, right? It's all on Ethereum, and of course, we believe it's a store of value as well. So I think Larry Fink is going to be singing the high praises of Ethereum any day now, probably next week, because he has a product to sell. And once that happens, I think a whole lot of people are going to realize just how much they've been sleeping on ETH. And what's really funny is, with Eric Balchunis's news coming out, we're actually seeing that about the ETF going live next week. We're actually seeing that the ETH price has been pretty much up only since that dip, last week, where it went to 2,800. As you can see here on the screen, it dipped there, and since then it's been very strongly up. So it's above the moving averages now on the 4-hour chart, and it's actually above the moving averages, but they haven't had a golden cross yet on the daily chart. So we got that pump a few weeks ago up to around 4,000, and then that was based on the ETF approval. And since then, it retraced pretty much that whole move up. But I think the market now is trying to figure out, actually finally realizing that this is actually a product that's going to go live. This is a product that's going to get shilled to hell. This is a product that will get meaningful inflows, and it's going to be something that is actually going to melt the faces off of everyone. So look at this chart and see what's going on, and I think you're going to see really beautiful things. So ETH is up 7% today, and I think part of that, of course, is the news from Eric Balchunis. Okay, this should have been covered in the Rocket Pool section, but also in the Ethereum section. So I've been talking about flat money a whole lot on Rocket Fuel recently, and the reason for that is, of course, that this is they have Unit, which is their stablecoin-ish that's built using rETH as their basis. Well, now we have JT Nickel, who you might remember from Rocket School, doing his videos explaining how to become Rocket Pool node operator. He is now doing an explainer series for flat money, which is absolutely awesome to see. So this is video 1, which is a 6-minute intro into what flat money is and what it does. And JT, of course, is a great teacher. He has a really fun style of presenting his videos. So once again, if you are interested in flat money, then definitely go on, and you still don't know what it is, then go and watch this video and JT will explain it all to you. And look forward to more videos coming out from JT and flat money as well. Okay, and finally, I'm going to finish today's episode with some wider crypto news, and this is to do with Donald Trump choosing JD Vance as his vice president running mate. Now, most people seem to think that Donald Trump has the election locked in, and it's pretty much decided. So seeing what kind of person he chooses as his vice president was something that people were paying attention to. Now, I'm not going to get involved in the politics of this matter because I have very strong opinions, but I will save that for Discord and my Twitter. But for Rocket Fuel here, all you need to know is that JD Vance actually has quite a long history of being very pro-crypto, and he's even made political statements about crypto, such as the Canadian trucker protest, about how crypto is taking off because it gives you a way to circumvent government control, and if you have the wrong politics, the government will block your banking and access to money. But with crypto, the government cannot do that. So there are many such statements from JD Vance about crypto being a positive and crypto being a good thing. So I think that is also potentially one of the reasons why crypto has moved strongly today. Um, what's happened basically is that people think Donald Trump is going to win the election. People also realize he's 78 years old, and he's not in good health pretty much, and there's a chance that he could die. And with him dying, here we have JD Vance, who is a 39-year-old millennial who is pro crypto, and with him being so close to the presidency, with his pro crypto policies, there's a chance that the US will become much, much, much more favorable to crypto, and with that becoming more favorable, it could pump our backs basically. So it seems like everyone is happy with this. Well, not everyone, but like the crypto markets are happy with this, and that's something to keep an eye on, definitely, and how all that's going to go forward. But on that note, I'm going to end today's episode. So thank you all for watching, listening, and being part of the Rocket Fuel community. I hope you all had a lovely weekend, and I will see you all very soon. I'm not sure exactly when it'll be, so I can't say it'll be tomorrow. But there's some cool stuff coming your way very soon. So hopefully you all will be tuning in and watching all that. Anyway, bye all.